Okay, so the World Cup is here, and let me tell you something hilarious. And yes, I am wearing a German soccer jersey. No, I'm not sorry. I grew up loving German soccer. And Freddie is out here doing more for America's image than any marketing campaign ever could. So I felt like I owe Germany a little solidarity. And if you don't know who Freddie is at this point, do you live under a rock? But yes, I'm rooting for the US. I live here. I love it here. Some loyalties you just can't shake though, kind of like how you can't undiscover Chick-fil-A sauce once you've had it. Now, for years, a certain type of European has acted like coming to America is some kind of punishment. Like, oh, darling, I could never. It's too loud, it's too big, too American. And I'm saying this as someone who was born in Europe, so I get to make fun of us, and so do you guys. We really can be insufferable sometimes. We'll sit in Europe talking about how America has no culture while watching every American movie, listening to every American song, and dreaming about the portions, which we do. And as someone who grew up loving soccer, actual football, not the American kind, sorry guys, I will say the one thing Europeans have always had over us is acting like they invented sophistication. Well, they did not. They invented tiny cups with no ice. But then the World Cup happened. Regular Europeans actually came here, and now they're out here documenting their love affair with this country, like they just found out Santa Claus is real and he brings free refills.
Order. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
This is one pancake?
Yeah, welcome to America. You know, I used to be little like you.
Yeah, so while some people in this country, mainly our friends over on the left, but even some on the right, will find a way to complain about literally anything good that happens, actual Europeans are out here losing their minds over the most normal American stuff. Take this German guy named Freddie, who's been road tripping through the South and posting everything. He's been hitting Waffle House, discovering Buc-ee's, which a German visiting Auburn, Alabama to watch Lionel Messi and Argentina play Iceland, stopping at a Buc-ee's and eating brisket sandwiches on a stack of deer feeder corn. Tell me a sentence never before uttered in all of human history. But anyway, I digress. Freddie's been basically having a full spiritual awakening at every stop. We found another surreal place on our way, he says. I know some people will say I'm too positive about everything I see. But this place is crazy. They had a shooting range in the store. In Europe, that sentence would or could get you arrested. Here, it gets you a loyalty rewards card. Give this guy his citizenship already, poor guy. What the heck is he gonna do back in Germany? I mean, he's out here living the full American experience. Road tripping through the South, eating at Waffle House, meeting country singers. And we've got people like Mamdani still walking around like they belong here. Just saying. Then there's this Swedish girl named Elsa, who tried Golden Corral and apparently had an actual out-of-body experience at Golden Corral. Man, we really do take these things for granted, don't we? Another European found the big gulp at 7-Eleven, and don't even get me started on the free refills.
I can refill.
Yeah. You want one Coke Zero or two?
I can refill this 1,000 times.
Yeah, but you won't drink 1,000 cups of
You don't know
Coca-Cola.
me. And it's free.
You paid for it, you paid it.
Once.
Bro, slow down. Slow down.
It's cold.
Fabio, slow down. Slow down. Why?
That was good. Because it's free. Yes, please. Thank you. I'm in paradise.
You can say that again. Free refills, by the way, are genuinely one of the most radical concepts in the world, especially for a European. I mean, in France, you pay what, 4, 5, 6 euros for a tiny glass of Orangina, and then you sit there like a sad little man. Here, you get a bucket of Coke for $2, and they just keep filling it forever. This is freedom. This is what they don't teach you in European schools. But it's not just our food and our free refills, although they're great. These Europeans are shocked by how friendly people are. And I can tell you firsthand, as someone who wasn't born here, they're right. I've lived in Chicago, I lived in New York, then I moved to Southwest Florida, and throughout the years, I've road tripped all over the country. And in these big cities, people keep their heads down, they're in a rush, there's this constant low-level snobbery, in certain circles at least, that honestly feels European. Those Europeans hang out in places like New York or LA with Americans who wish they weren't Americans. Now, what appears to be happening instead with this World Cup is regular Europeans are experiencing regular America and regular Americans. It's as simple as that, and for that reason, many Europeans here for the World Cup want to stay. And that's because they're not the Europeans we normally get. And what these Europeans are seeing is the reality. They're going through middle America. They're stopping in small towns and regular places where it's a completely different world, where people actually look at you. They say good morning. They hold the door. There's no attitude. There's no snobbery. It's just normal, decent people living their lives. That's the version of the country these Europeans are discovering right now. The one that doesn't have an attitude. The one where people are just normal and decent. And they're eating it up. Meanwhile, some of those same Europeans are straight up admitting they were lied to their entire lives.
For years and years, Europeans have taken the piss out of America. They're so loud, they're so rude, they're so stupid. Why is everything so big? Why do they love their country so much? All of those people right now are eating their words. Because of the World Cup, people who wouldn't normally go to America are going to America. I am seeing reaction videos everywhere. People are loving it. They are loving the food, they're loving the culture, they're loving the people, they're loving the size of everything. People are starting to understand how amazing America truly is, rather than just listening to the media and what other people have told them. Once you truly experience America, you won't want to go anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, makes sense. Because once you experience it, once you experience real America, you won't want to go anywhere else in the world. They're realizing the media has been feeding them the America is a dystopian hellscape narrative for years. Then they land here, eat a quesadilla explosion salad at Chili's, see a flyover before a game, and suddenly they're like, wait, this is actually awesome. Because it is. And here's what's interesting about that. The elitists in this country who've always looked to Europe for validation, they're watching all of this happen in real time and genuinely don't know what to do with it. Because the Europeans they were counting on to confirm their worldview are currently in tears over ice water. The cognitive dissonance must be genuinely painful. Like, you spent years telling everyone America is a dystopia, and now a German guy named Freddie is going viral for losing his mind over a gas station in Texas. That's really gotta sting. And that disconnect between the elites and the actual country goes way deeper than just culture. You've got anti-American Democrats who've spent decades telling us this place is irredeemably broken. But you've also got the neocons on the right, the war hawk crowd, who have their own version of being out of touch with the regular American. Both of them tend to forget that there's a guy in, I don't know, Zanesville, Ohio, who's just trying to fill up his truck, keep his business going, and not get his kids sent to a war that never seems to end. And that guy, that's exactly who these European World Cup fans are meeting right now. That's who's holding the door open. That's who's saying good morning. That's the America that's going viral. And you see, it all ties together because that same guy, the one in Zanesville, Ohio, filling up his truck, I think he's also the reason the Iran situation ended the way it did, and thank God for that. We went in, we hit the nuclear sites, we did what we needed to do, and we got out. Gunboat diplomacy. Clean, decisive, effective. The administration listened to the country instead of to the war machine. Now, some people on both sides are upset about that. The neocons wanted to keep going. They always want to keep going. And some on the left are just mad on principle because that's their thing. But the average American, he's not naive about Iran. He knows exactly what the regime is. He just also knows he can't afford another 20 years of forever wars while his grocery bill keeps climbing. And for once, that actually got heard in Washington. And honestly, that instinct that let us focus on ourselves energy is the same instinct that built the country these Europeans can't stop posting about. The elites still haven't got it, but glad these Europeans are starting to, because this is a pretty epic moment for America. We're hosting the World Cup, we're headed into our 250th birthday, and we had an epic UFC fight at the White House. The New York Knicks won their first title in 53 years, and now we've got Germans, Swedes, Brits, the French, all kinds of Europeans out here going viral because they discovered Waffle House and Bass Pro Shops. That's not a good summer, that's actually a pretty great summer. Now, we have our problems, sure, every country does, but we also have Buc-ee's the size of a small country, Waffle House at any hour, free refills, and people who will actually help you if you look lost. That's not nothing. That's also apparently more than enough to completely rewire a European's entire worldview in under 2 weeks, which says a lot about both our country and the propaganda. So to all our new European friends currently falling in love with American portions, air conditioning, and small town hospitality, welcome. We're glad you're here. And to the ones still coping and seething back home, maybe book a flight. Bring your tiny Orangina energy and leave it at the door. You won't need it here. The propaganda doesn't survive actually touching grass in the South. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I came here when I was 9 years old, and within 48 hours, I discovered free refills, air conditioning, and the American school bus. Some people spend their whole lives being told this place isn't worth it, and then a German guy with a road trip itinerary proves them all wrong. And that's the reality check with Yulia.